Well, I've been waiting all year to say this here, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again on the Elite Racing Network with some racing action to get you through the off season, and we are so glad you could join us for what is going to be an exciting event, the Clash, here on iRacing. I am once again bringing you live coverage of the Elite Racing Network for Joined APS Cup Series, joined by my good colleague there, Rashav. It's good to be with you here tonight because tonight's not like any other night. Tonight we are racing for one thing and one thing only, and that is glory. What can we expect on this half-mile racetrack?
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be so exciting to watch this race. Everybody's kind of brushing off that dust from the winter break, fresh off of all those championships from last season. Guys have been running their own practice sessions, things like that, gearing up and getting ready. We've got Daytona qualifying in just a week time, the Daytona 500 coming up in 2 weeks. The season is getting ready to kick off. Our Formula One season actually already kicked off, but this is really the big start to our NASCAR season. And I, for one, cannot wait. I think we've got some incredible racing ahead of us in 2022B, and it starts right here at Martinsville, here with the super late models lining up on the starting grid.
Yeah, this is something that's just unique in general for the series because not only have we not had the Clash here on Martinsville, but we are racing these super late model cars, as you mentioned there. And tonight we have 28 drivers with an elimination style format. So what we're going to see is 150 laps here tonight, but we're going to have 3 segments, just like what we would expect in a NASCAR race. However, after each one of those segments, some drivers are going to be taken out of the roster. The first segment, it's going to be 50 laps. Then we're going to eliminate anybody that's running 19th through 28th. The second segment will then go until lap 100, and that will eliminate 9th through 19th. So you have a bigger competition that's going to be eliminated in order to set up for a 25-lap feature event toward the end with a sprint to the checkered flag here. And again, we're at Martinsville. This isn't like the high banks at Daytona that we're accustomed to calling the Versailles. This is a completely different animal.
It's a completely different animal, and more importantly, from my point of view, it's completely different cars, right? We for us too, we called the last season watching these Cup cars. We're talking high downforce, lower horsepower cars in those Cup cars. These super late models are totally different beasts for these drivers to get a hold of. A lot of them have spent some time behind these cars, in open lobbies, things like that within iRacing. But for a lot of these guys, this could be the first time trying it out just to get into this season. And so, again, could see a different running order as a whole just throughout this race because of the different cars.
So I'm super excited to see what these super late models, how they are going to run. And more importantly, that fight for basically the transfer spot, as we had mentioned here. This is an elimination style clash. These drivers all earned their right to be through 2 ways. They were able to qualify for tonight's event by being a pole setter last season. If they started on the front row, they were awarded a place in tonight's competition. They were also able to get in by racing their way in with some of the heat races here. Now you're seeing up front where these guys are going to start the event as we see some people taken to pit road, it looks like, as we get pace laps underway here at Martinsville.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there is some chaos here, so we're not going to be able to get to show you guys an exact grid here, but we can at least walk you through it. Your pole sitter will be your defending Cup Series champion, Tate Lytle, with Gerald Campbell starting alongside him on the front row. Then that second row is Josh, Robin, and Chad Thernquist. Adriana Pinheiro, stepping over from the IndyCar Series, kicks off that third row alongside Michael Hossack. Andrew Rucker and Chad Frankenfield alongside each other, as well as Jeff Green and Scott Crump rounding out the top 10. We've also got R.C. Anderson, Hunter Smith, Everett Lintz, Garrison Hogan, Landon Huffman, Jared Rexing, Tyler Fode, Alexander Vandesant, Tom Bourne, and David Tooker rounding out that top 20. And then for the final couple of drivers, we've got Hank Steinmiller, Colin Bowden, Presley Sora, Vincent Isabella, Josh Adams, Robert Hill, Jack Eli, and Tyler Dixon in the 28th position. We expect this to be the last lap under pace car conditions. It's not. The lights actually go back on the pace car, so still some gridding to do in this field.
Yeah, That's some time for us to catch our breath before 125 fast ones here at Martinsville. You know, this just gets me excited, not only for our season here virtually in iRacing Never Saw, but for what is to come for the NASCAR Cup Series in just a little over 12 days. I am talking putting these cars on an even smaller track. We're talking about one of the most storied venues in all of sport history, not just auto racing, just sport history in general. And you can't even include auto racing because we've never auto raced at the Coliseum, where we are going to be in LA next week here on NASCAR. I cannot wait for that for NASCAR. I think that concept is just crazy. And if what we see tonight is going to be any indication on a smaller racetrack, we are in for a show.
Now, I'm curious because I actually haven't seen too many things about the specifications of the track itself other than pictures. What is the official size of that Coliseum racetrack? How small is that?
It's going to be a quarter-mile racetrack.
Oh, my gosh. With the Cup cars?
Racing on tonight.
So Cup cars on a quarter-mile racetrack. How about that? That's going to be really interesting. But for now, it's going to be all about these super late models here at Martinsville.
Yes, the green flag about to be in the air. It's waving. You see Barry, our iRacing guy, has it in hand. The 2022 season is green. Already some contact as we get underway at Martinsville. 50 laps, segment 1 about to be underway, and already got a car in the wall hard in turn number 1. Yellow flag is out. It didn't take long. And some major damage, I believe. You see that competitor going away quickly. Couldn't get an eye on exactly who that was, but my goodness, it did not take long for the yellow flag to fly more than 500 feet from the start-finish line. Take a look, entering turn number 1.
Could have been
44 car. He just completely misses the corner.
Yeah, there you go. And so it actually, so Landon Huffman there was a little bit slow there off that corner, but I think it happened a little bit further up. I think it all starts with Jeff Green here on the start. Watch this 38 car because I think he gets loose on that start and kind of completely shuffles up the rest of this field. Now everybody's kind of scrambling. Jeff Green actually comes down. They're 3 wide, and that's where that incident is. That's what brings out the caution here. 38 of Jeff Green.
Yeah, he spun his tires pretty significantly, and at the start of the race there where everybody is just right on top, there was really no place to go. You saw the 18 also get nose damage as well. Let's talk about some of the race rules for tonight here at Martinsville. These guys, you're able to fix the damage like you normally can. You could go under caution and go ahead and get a pit stop there, but you cannot change tires. You must use the same tires that you started the event on, and so that is going to play a factor toward the end of this one because you're not going to be able just to put on tires and come in there. You're going to need to be able to conserve your equipment, especially for those last 25 laps.
Yeah, and it's going to reward those guys who are fast and good on their tires because you're also not going to play that strategy of hang out in the back and save your tires for a late race caution because you hang out in the back, well, you're out at the next stage break. So you've got to be really considerate of that, and so it's all about working your tires the best of your ability as the pace car is about to come off here. It's going to be really tricky. You want to run up front here, not scrub too much wear off those tires, but also don't want to fall too far back and risk being eliminated.
All right, so we're going to try this again. First restart underway. You see Tate Lytle, the defending champion, hard on the loud pedal. As everybody gets to the bottom of the racetrack, they're trying to. 28 drivers all on this track. As Tate Lytle trying to get away there. They're side by side. They'll be behind him.
Everyone seems to be making it through here relatively smoothly off of turn 4. Wow, yellow flag is out. So just say that, and there's the crash. The 88 car involved in that. Jeff Green, again, just catches the back end of that. That's the 87 right there. Who is that in that 87 just driving away from us? That's Everett Lintz actually there in that car. So that's where that incident's going to start off. Let's see if we can find out what happened in that particular replay.
Yeah, we're getting further a little bit, but these guys not yet to complete a lap fully under green. And I wonder if that has to go with these late model cars and how they're handling. Are they used? I know this is the one-off, as we see already
15.
from what that happened in front. Wow.
So it was Chad Frankenfield.
Up and over.
So here we go. So it's Chad Frankenfield here. The 10 actually bumps the 15 car, who then goes around, and that's kind of what starts this whole pile. Look at that. 15 goes upside down. The 98's involved in that. The 88, 23, everybody back in this pack here with big damage on those cars. 15 car up along the wall. He's actually able to drive it off there. Maybe? Yeah, how about that? There you go.
Significant damage after a bump gone wrong by Jared Rexing there. And I have to wonder, are there such things as end-of-line penalties here tonight? Or is kind of bumping racing here?
There are end-of-line penalties. They are playing those just like they would for the standard season for any of these leagues. So you will have to abide by those. So if you are deemed, to be at fault for an incident, they will absolutely penalize you that and give you an EOL. So something else you got to watch out for.
So it's been a crazy night of action. Only lap 8 here of 125. Keep in mind we are going to complete tonight's race in 3 segments. That first segment is only going to be 50 laps before we eliminate 9 drivers that have hopefully not been eliminated already due to crashes here. I don't see anybody off the track, and I think with these super late model cars, they can handle a little bit of damage here, but what we saw was Tad Frankenfield already. I don't know if being upside down is really going to help you and your chance to go forward. Normally doesn't.
No, certainly not. Yeah, that's going to be tough. We'll see again. Short track racing, though, you never know. We've seen some crazy looking cars win short track events, so certainly don't count out that 15 car if you can find track position again. But getting ready to go back to green here.
All right, so Tate Lytle once again for the second time in control of this restart. Just 40 laps, a sprint to the first green and white checkered flag of the season, an elimination style race underway. You can see that 56 car power through the middle, kind of hold off and advance by the 31 who used that outside line. We'll talk about that and see what happens here. But here comes the 81. It's Josh Robin there. It was a miracle of 3-car breakaway up front, side by side for 4th place.
Yeah, side by side here we got Michael Hossack, Andrew Rucker. Rucker goes way wide, though. He's now going to be top side 3 wide alongside Scott Crump. And who's that? That's Alexander Vandesant, I believe, in that number 5. Running a different number for him today. So, yeah, this is just chaos right now. And you're seeing Rucker there, who went to that top line earlier in the lap, just dropped about 5 positions over the span of a lap. It's really, really tricky. Once you start losing positions here, you get off of that ideal line on the bottom, you're going to have a tough time finding your way back towards it.
Caution number 3 out on the speedway here. It's going to slow these guys down once again, and it looks like the victim might be that blue and yellow number 24 car. Actually, it's in front of him. He gets collected, and David Tooker comes to a stop right in front. Is that the 24 car? It shows 24 on my screen, so I didn't know.
David Tooker. Unfortunately, one of the issues we do run into here with running cars that we're not used to is not everybody's numbers match the way they should. But that is David Tooker, classified in iRacing as the 19 car, but shown as the 24 on screen. Jared Rexing, though, that's still him in that number 10 car, that Jeff Green car. So I should clarify, he's in the Jeff Green liveried car. He's not Jeff Green himself. Jeff Green's in a different car in this lobby. But Jared Rexing, yeah, involved in that incident as well. David Tooker going around to cause that one. And we have got a couple of cars coming down pit road.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly if the commitment cone violation would be in order there. Somebody definitely made a late decision on getting onto pit road here, but are we kind of surprised at the action we're seeing already early in the stage? Do you think this has more to do with the importance of not being in this position here with 30 laps to go, laps winding down, or is this a combination of just a new car, a new style of racing, and definitely a short track?
I think it's a combination of a short track and also nothing to lose for a lot of these drivers, right? You don't have a season-long, penalty list to worry about. You're not going to lose points for any decisions made here. Obviously, we'd like to see these guys racing a little bit cleaner and not having as many caution laps here. But that's still kind of part of it as we go back to live pictures. Hopefully, getting ready to head back to green flag pretty soon here, and we will. But yeah, it's tricky, and these guys are going to be more aggressive because they can't afford to be.
Yeah, aggression is going to be the name of the game as Barry waves the green flag once again. We'll keep an eye on the lead there, but the important spot you'll want to be in is above 19th place. So 1 through 18 are going to be safe there. If you're in 19th, you are out of a shot to win here tonight. Once again, Tate Lytle doing all he can, proving why track position is so valuable here at Martinsville. He's out to an early lead in front of Gerald Campbell. Look at that, a couple of champions there up front.
Yeah, Campbell, Tate Lytle, the past 2 Cup Series champions leading the way. Meanwhile, here's Landon Huffman in that number 75 car, a guy who's pretty familiar with these super late models on a small track like Martinsville. Runs a lot of leagues here in iRacing, of course. Does run races in real life as well. So Landon Huffman there getting forward, or moving forward in the pack right now. He started a little bit further back, right now running inside the top 5 as we've got a great kind of battle going on here for second, as here comes Presley Sora looking to the inside of Josh Robin. He's not going to be able to get there, though.
Robin a little bit loose, had it hang loose there just a little bit. It was in yaw as he entered turn 1, able to gather it up. But now you see the 98 car kind of late trying to get into the corner there, and just how flat these bumpers are. I mean, I think that's what makes running here even so scary, as the 98 takes a look underneath Josh Robin here in turn 2. We'll keep an eye on this battle. See if that opens up the door for the 75 right behind him. But if you can take a look at these bumpers, you notice how they're flat. You can really get underneath the guy there, really unsettle him in the corner here, as if we don't have much to worry about here at Martinsville. Oh, caution number 4 is out. Just the things were getting good.
Yeah, caution flag once again. It looks like it might be that 38 of Jeff Green.
Take a look here for the 2000 Series champion, Busch Series champion, that is. He's going to get a bump from the 24.
That's a different 24. I believe that one was Michael Husak, not the 24 of David Tooker, and it was. Yep. So, yeah, we got a few of those, I think, issues here tonight. So Landon Huffman stays there in the 5th position and back up to Tate Lytle here. Yeah, we've not been getting a lot of green flag running, and that was kind of expected. We were watching a little bit of the heats earlier on tonight, and I think that second heat that we had, it was pretty much caution all the way through. We're hoping, of course, that that's not going to be the situation here in the main event.
Well, I mean, eventually we're going to be taking out drivers, whether they want that to happen or not, considering we're running down laps. We're almost halfway in stage 1 here, but we will eventually get down to just 8 drivers, and we'll see how they handle themselves here. But I'm impressed. These guys up front, they're not really needing to use very much. It's the guys behind that are kind of feeling antsy. They're going to have to improve their position there. Right now, David Tooker, actually, we can scroll down there on scoring there, I believe. Just taking a look at that bubble. Vincent Isabella in that 23 is the first man out. Noah Kendall player there in 21 is holding that 18th position again. For those of you guys that might be joining on YouTube and Facebook, this is an elimination style event, so only the next 18 will make it into the next round, and then from there 10 cars will be eliminated. So tonight it's only $20 on the line, but by God, it $20. You know how much $20 can pay for me and my gas right now. I need that. I might go get in this race myself.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, for these guys, it's actually a couple of cars on iRacing if you want to do that as well. So a few different options there. It's, again, no major prize money, but again, you're also kind of battling it out there for that pride and to get your season kicked off in just the right way. So once again, back to green flag racing, 5th of the way complete with this event as we tick over to lap 25. Gerald Campbell looked to try and get to the outside of Tate Lytle. He didn't, but now he's got Presley Sora to his inside, and Gerald Campbell could very quickly be in danger here of losing a number of positions, because look at Landon Huffman chasing Presley Sora on the bottom there. Gerald, though, doing a good job at hanging on the outside.
Yeah, that 98 car wasn't so long ago. We were talking about him and just being in the 5th position. He's worked his way up now, battling hard for second. He's going to try and drive it in there way deep into the corner. The 31 car pinching him down. It's not going to be enough, and now wrestling in that 98, he's going to try and overcome that. He will this set of corners here. And as you mentioned there, Rashad, that 31 car, now he's got to be eyeing, okay, when can I get back in line? Also, how can I run this race without abusing my tires? You know, if I'm kind of in this top 10 or so dozen perhaps spots, I might not want to race these guys hard, because those tire wear, that's going to be a factor toward the end of this race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tire wear is going to be a huge factor for these guys, but that's not stopping them from racing hard. You're seeing this all the way through the field, 2 by 2 drivers going at it. Colin Bowden and R.C. Enerson going side by side there. R.C. has to go way up the racetrack. He's driving that number 18 car, and he's going to lose potentially another position here to Stanley. Looking to the inside, almost gets into the 18 of R.C. Enerson, but they both hold on for now. And
how about the drive made by R.C. Enerson? He was involved in our very first caution flag when Jeff Green went around in turn 1 early on lap number 1. He's been able to rebound there safely inside this top 19 and have a fighting shot, and he's hanging tough on that outside line, but that 91 car giving him all sorts of fit on the bottom. He's not making it easy, but the 18 car, is he going to clear him this way? He does. So we have a battle for the lead here. Look at the 98 car. He'll get underneath our champion, heading to turn 1. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, Presley Sora is looking so good right now and so strong, and here you go. With the inside line, he has the advantage of the preferred racing line around here. Tate Lytle's going to do whatever he can to hold on, but right now it's kind of a futile effort because Presley Sora is ahead and almost clears. They make contact off of turn number 4, but they do clear, and also there goes through Landon Huffman. And honestly, expect these two guys to potentially start running away from the field if we stay green here. Their lap times are much, much faster than some of the others that we've been seeing from other drivers. These guys just seem to be in a bit of a league of their own.
Yeah, right now they almost made that look easy. As you see, ooh, Josh Robbins just popped the wall there just behind them out of view. But yeah, that 75 car able to make sure he stayed in line with the 98 car, and our first and second place drivers looking to try and check out here as we're underneath the longest green flag run of the night. Tate Lytle not gonna let them get too far out ahead, but Calamity is ensuring though behind them as we keep an eye on this battle. We'll also keep in mind it looks like Vincent Isabella, Jared Rexing, those guys are just in front of the bubble driver as laps are winding down. We only have 15 before we get to the end of this race. Ooh, you saw the 18 car and at the outside wall as well. These cars are definitely a handful. I've never driven one of these cars here, Rasav. How do these differ from the next gen cars here?
So I personally haven't either, but can probably talk a little bit to what these are like to drive. And the next-gen car especially, you're talking about a lot more downforce, a lot more grip in general, even with, I think, the newer package that we're going to be running this season, which, by the way, I'm extremely excited for. That low downforce, high horsepower package. Can't wait. Caution flag out as well on the racetrack. But these cars are even more extreme in that same sense to what they're moving towards with that Cup Series package. So, again, really high horsepower, really, really low downforce, a much older, I mean, they're called super late models, a much older platform that they're racing on. So, again, handling-wise, just not quite there in terms of where that next-gen car is.
All right, so fifth caution flag of the night is out. We'll take a look at the replay. It's going to be Jared Rexing with a bump. He's going to get it from Michael Hossack, who goes around from the 95. Right behind him.
Ooh, the 89 there.
89 cars going to spin late into it. Now all these guys find themselves in elimination danger with less than 15 to go here at Martinsville in stage 1.
Yeah, watch. It's the bump from the 24. He then checks up because he bumped the 10 car, and then the 95 goes on to bump the 24 there. So kind of a one of those domino effect type situations that you'll sometimes see at a track like this. So as one guy slows down, the rest of the field slows down as well.
All right. So right now, we know that you can only pit really to fix damage, unless you have, what do you call it, a significant body damage. I don't believe we see any of our top people pit there. There's not going to be really that much to warrant a pit stop here for these guys up front because, as we mentioned earlier, you are not allowed to take any tires on these race cars.
No, you're not. So yeah, we're getting into the point here. We haven't had enough green flag laps where I think it's going to be too significant. Though, however, the pit road in Martinsville made it almost look like some cars were coming in here to pit road, but obviously no reason to give up that track position with tires not on offer. So Presley Sora, Landon Huffman will lead the field back to green.
Presley has been the class of the field so far as of late. At the start, already Josh Robin turned out of the pack and into the inside wall.
Robin then gets rolling again there, but let's take a look once again at that restart here. So watch what happened. Robin unfortunately just kind of missed that there with the Josh Robin incident. Let's see if we can maybe grab another camera angle because it just was slightly out of picture there. Watch this 88 car. Excuse me, the 81 car of Josh Robin just gets loose. It looks
like Robin actually, he might have stuttered a little bit on the gas right there. He got loose right before the 88 car who was on the gas, and I mean, that's right in the restart, though. That's where you're expecting everybody to go. We often talk about the checkup that happens. I believe that 81 car, he needed a second to catch it. Unfortunately, that just does not exist in the restart zone on a short track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to get restarted here, and that's not the first time we've seen somebody struggling to get power down on the restart and having to maybe cause a checkup or check up themselves, and there you go. That's just what happens. You have to be so cautious with these cars, and that just goes back to that point that I was talking about before that last restart.
So that's unfortunate for a competitor who had found himself safe and out of harm's way. His chances aren't over, but with the damage on that race car and the laps winding down here, we know we're only going to have, I would say, about 7 or 6 laps to go. He's going to need a Hail Mary in order to not be eliminated because of that move.
Yeah, certainly will. Right now, you're looking at Kendall Noah Player as the first driver out in that 21 car. Just trying to see if we can spot it. All the liveries, again, are different. So for us, it's even a little bit crazy. But you look to Kendall Noah Player. Excuse me, he's in his 94. So Kendall Noah Player on back. You've got Tyler Dixon, Hank Steinmiller, Brent Jones, Michael Hossack, Josh Robin, like we just talked about, Jeff Green as well, who's actually not on the racetrack anymore. So only a few cars will go out, when we go back to Green Flag Racing here and when we hit that lap 50 mark. So keep an eye out for that. But we could be coming up to our next stage caution fairly quickly.
Yeah, Presley Shore hard on the gas right there to fire off into the restart zone and get away. That 75 car on his outside. You saw Gerald Campbell able to get around Tate Lytle, who's actually fallen back to the 4th position. And here's that 88 car on his outside giving him trouble. Caution is out once again, the 7th one of the night. And this, I believe, is going to set up for what could be a green-white checker to end segment 1.
I think you're right there, because the caution have been pretty quick around here. We haven't been doing too many laps under caution. It's probably going to be about lap 48, 49 maybe. I think lap 48, maybe even 47 when we go back to Green Flag Racing. So it'll be whatever the next flag is. You'll basically either race to that lap 50 mark or you're going to race to the next caution, I think, is going to decide it. So once again, any changes in the back? Not really. Kendall Noah Player does dig himself up into the 18th position, actually, with Michael Hossack now down in P19. Our Hank Steinmiller, let's actually go to what caused that incident there, which was Josh Adams in the 95 car.
He sandwiched 3 wide, which typically does not work, and he and the 14 car make significant contact, and another competitor upside down in turn 3.
Yeah, so for Josh Robin, yeah, that day just kind of goes from bad to worse there. You're going to see how he gets caught up in this as well. That all happens in front. He's just an innocent bystander in that one.
And had he just been able to clear that just a little bit, you're right there. That looks like 4 or 3 spots, but things, that's just how quickly they happen here.
And there goes Robert Hill Jr.
Pirouetting on his side.
Yeah.
Look at that paint scheme there. I don't know if that's that livery there, plaid. I've never seen a plaid race car before.
Yeah, it's a unique livery, that's for sure. I think R.C. Anderson's running something pretty similar down in 8th position. There he is. Very similar livery, if not exactly the same. So plaid seems to be a popular color here tonight.
It is. Green flag is out. Just 3 laps to settle it. Segment 1 going to be underway. Oh. Wow, look at that big run. Gerald Campbell in the 88 car.
No, it's Colin Bowden.
Going to send the 88 car up the racetrack. Yellow flag is out. That's going to end, I believe, segment 1 with our 8th one of the night.
Yeah, so Gerald Campbell ends up second. It was Colin Bowden who went for that massive dive, though, in turn number 1. That's an interesting call there. Let's take a look. I want to see. Not sure what brought the yellow flag out. I think everybody's a little bit confused about why the yellow flag came out. Let's see. This is what we're getting told. It was Hank Steinmiller. Oh, there you go.
Just runs over the 14 car there.
Hank Steinmiller gets turned around. But what we want to see, though, is probably Colin Bowden here. And exactly how, as we head to the Whiskey Cast replay, exactly what happened there on that restart where he just kind of dove for it. And yeah, very nearly took out some of our leaders.
Yeah, there was a lot on the line for that type of move to be made. That was interesting, but yeah, let's take a look here. So the 31 of Gerald Campbell and the 88. The 88 car gets a good run on the outside here. He's going to try and dive underneath, try to get that spot. But Gerald Campbell just had none of it in mind. It nipped the 75 car, who does a well of a job to hang on. He'll lose a couple of spots as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was just a situation, I think, where that 88 car tried coming down, but there was a car there. And that kind of spiraled out into what we saw. But again, not the cause of the caution. We think it was that Hank Steinmiller incident that you saw up there that ultimately brought it out and ended that first segment of the race. And with that, 19th on back, well, they're going home.
All right, so let's take a look and see whose day is done here at Martinsville. It's going to begin with that 95 car. Joshua Adams there, and unfortunately, you see Jones, Hill, Steinmiller, Hosack, Joshua Robbins, and also already been involved in a couple of issues there lately, so their night's pretty much coming to an end here at Martinsville. Just 18 cars are going to be on the track this time by.
Yeah, just 18 cars then making it back out onto the field. We'll see. Yep, there you see. So Hill, Adams, Jones, Steinmiller, Hosack all hit pit road. Their days are over. Josh Robin, Jeff Green, Chad Frankenfield, Everett Lintz, their days were already over before the end of that segment. So with that being said, we're already getting ready to go back to racing. There's really not a lot of time here to catch your breath because the cautions are pretty short.
Yeah, they are. And right now, as we see, just 47 laps to go here. We'll see if any of the action we've seen up front comes back to haunt any of these drivers, as we see Tate Lytle get to the inside of the 75 car. Look at that 5, though, right behind him. He's been slowly but surely trying to work his way up, and there's the 18 as well.
Yeah, so that's Garrison Hogan alongside R.C. Anderson. Those guys going back at it. Garrison raced in Xfinity Series last season, made it all the way to the Championship 4 as another caution is out on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's going to be our 9th one of the night there. Incident in the back of the pack. Let's take a look and see Vincent Isabella, going to be the star in this feature film. He gets into the side, or he's a victim after another competitor gets into the side of him in turn 3, and we are just shy of our, will be a 10th caution flag the next time by, and only working lap 55, now 56 on the board.
Absolutely. Well, at least these cautions give us ample opportunities to talk about our great premier sponsors here at the Elite Racing Leagues. And for what must be, I think, the 3rd or 4th year running here, I'm losing track at this point, we're happy to have C2 Freight Resources back with us. Proud sponsor of Jeff Green and that 38 car, unfortunately out tonight. At C2 Freight Resources, they offer complete freight management services, and they're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of good, from perishable foods all the way to office equipment. They've also got their electronic data interchange, or EDI service, which allows shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or any other information about C2 Freight Resources, check them out online or on Twitter. We're tweeting about them all the time. A fantastic partner here of the Elite Racing Leagues, partner of Jeff Green. We're always happy to have them with us and very happy that they're back on board with us for 2022A.
Way to start off the season here with an exciting one here. 98 and 31, you're watching up high. Great unique view of this paperclip that is NASCAR's oldest track. You see a little bit of that stack up in the accordion. But yeah, the only original circuit on the NASCAR schedule that was there on season 1. We got one car way out of the groove there in the back of the pack. He's able to gather it up. Meanwhile, the 98 and that 56 car trying to discuss first and second. Oh, there it is. Yellow flag number 10. I'm telling you, the pace car and Barry. Somebody sent some ice to Barry. He has got to be tired waving that yellow flag.
Absolutely. It looks like it's going to be Andrew Rucker, I think. And there it is, hit by Scott Crump, and hard hit into the outside wall for that 64 car. Really a bystander in that one. It looked like it might have been. Let's watch that again here, see if we can get a better camera angle on it. The 90 car just kind of definitely outbroke himself there into that corner. And yeah, there goes Andrew Rucker. So my guess is that's going to be EOL on the 90. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I just know that they were all very much they were stacking up. Is that a little bit of underglow underneath that 64 car? That looked pretty cool.
Take a look there. I don't know if I'm seeing anything quite yet, but maybe iRacing's adding something in the background here.
It looked pretty awesome out of that shot. I didn't know if that was a thing because they had that in the All-Star race, and I was like, man, iRacing really thinks it all. It just might be the undercarriage of his car. It's just kind of. But if that shot that we had, that replay, it looked like it's a very vibrant green up underneath that car right there. Man. All right, so we have 40 laps to go here, and what is slowly becoming the war of attrition. Let's creative clash. It's never been a clash, all right. None of that's happening up front, though.
Yeah, they've been really good. They've been racing really well up front. Presley Sora, Tate Lytle, Landon Huffman, Gerald Campbell have kind of been the breakaway four that have been leading this race since the start. Garrison Hogan, though, he's kind of entered that chat now. I want to see what he looks like now restarting inside the top 5, and don't count out R.C. Anderson ever. He's very much involved. This top 6 looks really threatening, and hey, Colin Bowden in that 88 after that deep dive to end the first stage, he's back up in 7th. So a lot of talent right here in that top 7 and then the top 10 in this field in general, and these guys are going to go racing. So here we go, side by side, Huffman and Lytle.
There's a lot of guys that are seeing red here. If you're in the top 7 or so spots, you have some red on your car. Perhaps the rest of the field, half the field behind them, they're seeing red just because they're behind these guys, trying to get up front. But I'm telling you, it might have something to do with just being painted red. I don't know why that's the color of choice here, but everybody that's inside the top dozen so the field has some sort of red on their car.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be that way. I don't know if there was some plan for that, but there. Oh, we've got a car way up in the wall. Who was that? Was that RC? He's still going.
RC Anderson there, but yes, one car practically riding the wall up on the backstretch. We stay under the green flag, but that's not just.
How about that? Yeah.
That's a hard hit for these cars. They keep on going.
Yes, they do. So there you go. RC staying side by side with Colin Bowden here, back battling it out for 6th position.
Yeah, he's actually lost a little bit of ground there to the wounded 88 car. At least on the front end of that car, looks significantly damaged a little bit, but you're going to be using that front bumper. I would expect it to look that way at Martinsville or any other short track as you get fabulous aerial coverage there presented to you by Blue Egg and C2 Freight.
Yeah, everybody more or less single filed out right now. We're going to see as they all file through here, turns 1 and 2. Might have a little bit of a battle going on there. Alexander Van de Sant, maybe to the outside. No, it might have been a little bit further behind. It is. Let's take a look. Who is that actually battling it out there? Is that Vincent Isabella, Tyler Fody going at it? Tyler Fody really has not been a factor in this race. I mean, Fody's one of those guys who's always battling up front, but we haven't talked about him at all tonight because he's kind of been pretty far back and hasn't been much of a factor. We know he's the type of guy who saves his tires, but like I mentioned, I mean, you don't want to save your tires in such a way that you're going to get yourself knocked out before you have a shot to go for the win later on. But I don't know. Keep an eye on this 40 car, but he seems to be struggling just a little bit right now, moving backwards rather than forwards.
Yeah, he's continuing to be up high, and he's lost in the time that you've talked about that. Now looking to be his 3rd spot in just as many laps here. That 40 car just not showing the pace we typically expect, though, out of that driver. Keep in mind here, we are going to be eliminating 10 of them here at the end of segment number 2. It's going to allow 8 drivers with a shot to win here tonight for the final 25 laps. We have 30 to go till we get to that, but that 40 car is going to need to start making some ground.
Yeah, and look at this breakaway. This is the biggest gap for 2 leaders that we've seen all night long. Presley Sora, Landon Huffman. Take a look here at just that gap. You just saw a little bit there behind, but there you see those 2 cars, those tiny specks there, and how far ahead they are from Tate Lytle. That is really, really impressive, the pace that these 2 have been putting on, and you might be just what's going on right here, where they're just nose-to-tail happy to race each other, or at least just run with each other, and separate themselves from the rest of the field, make this a 2-car race, and have those 2 fight for it. Don't have to worry about anybody else. And here we go. Huffman to the inside. He's going to look for that on Presley Sora. Sora closes the door, but that 75 car is very much there. Down the front straightaway. Sora, though, comes clear, and that's back straightaway. Excuse me.
Yeah, Sora did a great job getting the power back to the rear wheels of that car and able to lay it down. And he saw that advance by the 75, but just was able to keep him up. And I'm like you there. I am impressed with these guys being able to run about a second and a half in front of third place, Tate Lytle. And my question, though, are these guys wounding their tires there just a little bit, or are they just that fast here right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's an impressive run right now. These are two guys who don't necessarily run as often in the Cup Series. Presley Sora, Landon Huffman. I don't actually know if he has a Cup start with us, but great to see him getting involved here tonight. But yeah, I mean, guys who aren't super involved, we haven't seen too much of what they can do. But Sora loses it, goes wide and into the wall off of turn number 4. And now, there you go, Landon Huffman with a chance to take that inside line. And they're losing some time here now to Tate Lytle. Sora again in the wall.
Yeah, man, here comes the 75 as the yellow flag is out, number 11 of the night, but we're going to have a lead change while we get to the yellow flag, and that's going to be Landon Hoffman. As we take a look at some of these guys in the back of the pack, is that Tyler Fody? It is. His backward slide's going to continue. This time it's going to find the inside wall in a piece of the 94.
Kendall, a player as well who just avoided getting eliminated in that first round, gets involved in that as well, so he'll pick up some damage. But Tyler Fody, that day, just going from bad to worse in that 40 car. Yeah, there's just not much going there. And there you see yellow flag count 11. Kind of ridiculous here.
It's a clash. It'd be kind of ridiculous if we didn't see that. These guys are going, and I'm telling you, like I said, it's $20, man. I just, you know what I would do for $20. I just get out the way. It's definitely, I know we're hovering around, I believe, with less than 25 laps to go. Yeah, it'll be 22 or 21 laps by the time we get this thing restarted here. But right around that trouble spot is going to be Alexander Van de Sant. He's holding on, but there's some hungry guys behind him that I believe might be good enough to make their way in. We talked about David Tooker. He's in the 10th position there after that earlier spin trying to rebound. I think he's the guy that can be aggressive and try to work his way up. Jared Rexing, haven't seen much of what he can do. He's been involved in a couple of issues, does have some damage on that race car as well, but that's a guy who you can never count out. And then Andrew Rucker and Scott Crump, those guys had an earlier issue amongst themselves. If things get dicey up front, though, look for them to try and mount an attack. Meanwhile, we have a new leader that's going to be in control of this race, and that's going to be the 75.
Absolutely, and so, yeah, we're going to be going now for, yeah, geez, restart number 12 here?
Yeah. Coming to 22 to go, the 75 on the loud pedal there. Gets it going. There's Gerald Campbell on the outside of the 98. Everybody trying to hug that curb there. Matching a lot of these race cars here up front. Red and white coloring. 75 car Landon Hoffman. We haven't seen him up front here, so let's see what happens as he tries to get in front of the 98 here. The 56 and the 31, though, they have not given up on this battle for third. Tate Lytle doing all he can to try and clear Gerald Campbell off the corner.
Yeah, so once again, that little bit of a breakaway here up front. It's now the battle going on for third position. Colin Bowden back involved in this, up inside the top 5. He's gotten by Garrison Hogan. Now looking to the inside of Gerald Campbell. We know Colin Bowden likes to run aggressive. He's going to try and make those moves. He wants to get back up to the top of this pack, and he's done it past Gerald Campbell. But look at that. Garrison Hogan dives to the bottom.
Yeah, he did, and that's going to stun Gerald Campbell as one competitor very loose off the corner. He gathers it up. I believe that was Alexander Van de Sant. And look at this. This battle for that 8th spot is heating up. Right now, R.C. Anderson has it, but David Tooker all over the back bumper, and the yellow flag is out again, just as things were beginning to heat up mid-pack. Number 12 of the night. Let's take a look and see what happens. It's going to be Andrew Rucker and Scott Crump.
The second time those two have come together, and similar, basically the same incident as well as the first time. That's astounding.
Yes, and those are like the exact same skid marks that were left at turn 3 and 4 have been left in 1 and 2. So don't know if Andrew Rooker's going to be very happy with Scott Crump at the end of this one. That is the second time that 64 car has found the outside fence here at Martinsville, this time just on the other end of the speedway.
Absolutely, that is crazy there. We'll see what the call is, but man, oh man. Yeah, and there it is. I think Scott Crump has just been told to park. He is done for the day. That's 2 EOLs. I believe gets you a penalty to no longer be able to run. So we said they were using the same penalty system, and there you see it in action right there. Scott Crump and Andrew Rucker collide twice. Crump gets parked for it.
So unfortunate for the 90 car there. The 64 car, though, probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. Still trying to rebound there, but yeah, that is an issue that we've seen numerous times today, and unfortunately just not going to go the way the 90 car wanted it to. Less than 15 to go, and as I mentioned, they're hovering above that bubble spot. R.C. Anderson has it. David Tooker, Stanley and Rexing just behind him. And what's troublesome for the 18 is that 8th spot is on that outside lane, so that already puts you at a slight disadvantage against those guys that are on the inside. And who has that spot? David Tooker. He's going to be aggressive. We'll keep an eye on that right number 24 car mid-pack. 75
Early
car
jump.
Exits out of the restart zone pretty quickly. He fires off, but that stalls out the progress made on the outside lane. And here comes David Tooker once again on the attack underneath R.C. Anderson there, entering turn 2 for the bubble spot.
Yep, so there we go. Back to single file here. So Huffman, Sora still leading the way there. Now Lytle, Bowden, Hogan. Gerald Campbell, I think, in probably the lowest position he's been all night, and might go a position lower here with Alexander Vandesant now diving to the bottom. Remember, Vandesant, pretty new to Cup cars in general, but made it all the way over to that kind of championship finale situation here in the Cup Series. Did an incredible job to make it that far, and yeah, he's been really developing well as a stock car driver as well as an IndyCar driver, fresh off an IndyCar championship. He's looking to try and make some advancements here in the Clash, and he is almost past Gerald Campbell here as Campbell goes around, and so does Vandesant.
David Tooker, Gerald Campbell's into the wall, and we have multiple competitors into the inside wall and outside. The 79 goes around. Caution number 13, unlucky for several contenders, the most being Gerald Campbell in that 31.
Wow.
Take a look, it unfolds quickly in turn 4. Ooh, Rexing and Tooker.
There goes Tyler
Significant
Dixon.
damage to the outside wall. I don't know if we can back that up there just to see what sent that 31 car wide. Was it a bump from Alexander Vandesant or not? We were watching that battle pretty much unfold. They were safely inside the top 8 before that happened.
Now let's take a look and see if we can get a good camera here for what on earth happened there. That's so unfortunate. That was such a great battle that was also progressing between these guys, just like you were saying. Let's take a look here. So there they are.
Yeah.
Just a checkup, and R.C. Anderson. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's just the product of racing. That's the product of Martinsville. Then, of course, the stack up right there. The 79
Dixon,
trying to shoot the gap, and the 64 car just was there. But I saw if perhaps the wheels just touched a little bit, and that sudden loss of momentum, even just slightly there. The 18, he had the 24 car, David Tooker, right behind him. There's going to be nobody kind of giving an inch, especially late in this one. And unfortunately, it just unraveled in a really bad way for the 31 car.
Yeah, it really did, and that's unfortunate for him. He was having such a strong night up until that point, and that was something that I wanted to talk about is, Gerald Campbell and how good he is on short tracks like this, and how much success he's had, especially in the Cup Series. He was looking strong here as well, and yeah, that's an unfortunate start there. Long season to go, though. Again, this Clash, no points on the line for that. So easy, I think, to kind of get over what happens tonight for some of these guys, and move on to Daytona, I think.
So down, but definitely not out at the stripe will have just under 8 laps to go. 7 next time by. The 75 car, he's been flirting when he decides to go in that restart zone. He was early the last time by. This time he's pretty late getting back to the gas, and that's going to stun the 98 car just briefly before they get back up to speed. Meanwhile, though, that bubble spot still heating up. You see RC Anderson there has it just in front of Stanley and David Tucker, who's trying to desperately get back into that one position there and have his shot continue on.
Absolutely here. Great fighting going on. And look at that. Vincent Isabella up against the wall. We saw a car up on the wall once again. Who was that? I think that was the 54 car of Eli, and he goes around into the wall. Hard hit by Gerald Campbell as well.
And just like we saw in segment 1, we are going to end segment 2 with perhaps a 2 or 3 lap shootout. Look at that. This 54 car had hit the outside wall, and then he gets a nudge from the 97 and the 10. He kind of got sandwiched. There was a stack up between them, and the 64 car just was not getting off him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's we're seeing a little bit of what I'm hoping. What we're seeing here is guys who are just a little bit rusty in the whole wheel-to-wheel racing and need to get back into it, because we don't want to be seeing too much of this. I mean, man, oh man, it's been crazy just the way this race has been dominated by cautions.
It has. That was caution number 14 of the night. But in less than 5 laps here, we're just going to have 8 drivers here and a 25-lap shootout to settle it here at Martinsville. Double wide. This could very well be the end of segment 2 that we are going to be watching. I believe we are going to have one more lap under green. Or, excuse me, under yellow, yes.
Looks like it. And so, yeah, with 8 cars remaining, it becomes Van de Sant, Isabella there. That's that bubble line right now. Vincent Isabella is in. David Tucker, Alexander Van de Sant right behind him. Those guys are looking to try and find their way in. Tyler Fode actually up in 12th position right now. Who knows what he can pull off here with 3 laps or 2 laps on the line here. This could be a very interesting couple of laps if we stay green.
All right. So 3 laps. Your shot at segment number 3 on the line. The 75 car. Logan Huffman gets a great job through the restart zone. Meanwhile, behind them, they are all battling for what it is worth to try and make it into the show here for the final time. Here comes Alexander Van de Sant, trying to keep the rest of the field at bay. He gets passed, though, by the 24 car as we see the 23s in the wall, and the caution flag is out. That will freeze the field. Who made it in?
Tucker, I think.
Barely over Alexander Van de Sant.
Yeah, how about that? So let's see. Let's take a look at that caution. It looks like it might be Jack Eli and Jared Rexing. No, we're looking at Jack Eli here, just running slow on the racetrack. Don't think that's gonna. Do you think that one right there might bring out the caution? Or maybe it was this. Let's take a look here. There, Jared Rexing also flagged with something. Jared Rexing, there we go. He goes spinning around. I think that one brings out the caution right there. Quickly spins it over and then back up to speed. But unfortunately for him, that brings out the caution, and yeah, he's gonna go out.
Yeah, Tyler Fode just misses it, as well as Kendall Noah player there. Alexander Van de Sant. But how about the fight given in that 24 car? He had just 1 lap to make it happen. He's going to be in the show, as well as the 91, who we haven't talked much about at all tonight.
Yeah, this has been pretty crazy so far, and there's going to be just 8 cars left with 25 laps to go. It's going to be the ultimate shootout.
Looks like there's some arguing there in the back of the pack there. Jared Rexing, another competitor, discussing that. Don't know if that's a very friendly conversation. Maybe it's just trying to help him get to pit road. You think that's what they're saying? He's just waving at him. You're number 1.
Yeah, just a friendly wave, you know.
All right, so the 8 best drivers of the night. $20 on the line. The Length Creative Class, segment number 3. Ready to rock and roll here at Martinsville. The 75 car fires off here in front of Colin Bowden in that 88 car, who's now giving Presley a big assistance there entering turn number 3. They're side by side with the 75 car trying to get away.
Yeah, so here we go, side by side, Bowden, Sora. Bowden with the inside line right now, so Sora's going to have to give up that position. He slots back in ahead of Tate Lytle, but now he's got the look to the inside. Bowden, though, does a good job defending.
Oh, caution is out actually here.
Ooh.
Less than it, just 8 drivers on the track, but I don't see where the 91 and the 24 car are. That
Stanley,
there
there
the
they
91 car trying to clear himself, in the 24 car, he was there.
Yeah, two guys coming together there. That's 7th and 8th position. Again, for them, fortunately, I mean, there's not really any position to lose here with them being the last 2 cars on the racetrack in this reduced field. So yeah, back up to it. These cars, I will say, there's been a lot of contact. These cars seem to be fairly resilient. We've seen some cars that have gotten into quite a bit of damage, and at least visually don't seem to be too badly hurt.
Yeah. We've seen some cars head on into the wall there. They seem to be keep on trucking there. So I will say, for dramatic effect there, a quarter of the field was involved in that caution flag. Oh, that's just 2 cars. All right, so the 75 car, Logan Hoffman, we're getting down to the end of this thing. That 75, I think he might have perhaps the best car. And as I'm looking through my notes, you're right there, Rosov. I have none. I've not talked about this guy. Where did he come from?
Yeah, I mean, the background there on Presley Sora, I believe he's raced in our IndyCar series. I'm going to have to pull up some of his statistics here because it really is, impressive, coming into this league. And he doesn't have a ton of time in the league itself. But I'm sure he has a ton of experience in these types of race cars, and it's showing right now.
So he's going to have less than 20 laps to try and make history here for the Elite Racing League. Doing a great job so far in that 75. Green flag about to be back out here. Just less than 10 miles to settle it. The 88 Colin Bowden, this time he's going to give pace with the 75 car. He'll stay right to his outside. But the 75 car with that preferred groove on the inside of the racetrack, he's going to get away. Colin Bowden doing all he can. Can he clear himself down to the bottom of the racetrack? He does. He gets into the almost to the inside of the 75 car, but wow, he hangs on.
Yeah,
oh, there's contact. R.C. Anderson in the 5 car. Get at it.
Oh, and there they go around. So R.C. Anderson, Garrison Hogan, David Tooker again involved in another wreck there. These 3 drivers. So there you go. Let's take a look.
Yellow flag I never saw officially came out there, so I don't know if we are under yellow or not.
Oh my gosh, you might actually be right. We might still be under green flag conditions. We are. Those cars were definitely on close enough to the racing surface. That's interesting, but we're still under green flag.
Heck, we went from 1/4 of the field to 1/3 of the field wiped out with that crash. And
there you go, more. Yeah.
Under the green flag here, so that caution a bad break for the back half of the field, but the battle is still heating up here for the 75. Colin Bowden giving a good fight to the back bumper of that Logan Hoffman guy, trying to prove his worth.
Yeah, Landon Huffman looking so good right now. Just been so strong all race long. Him and Presley Sora were kind of those 2 breakaway drivers, remember, in one of the runs earlier on in this event, and he's been controlling the race kind of since then, ever since he unsettled Presley Sora, honestly. Colin Bowden, though, is a new challenge. We know Bowden's aggressive. He's fast. He's going to make that move when it comes down to when the opportunity presents itself. So Landon Huffman has to put on one of the best defensive drives I think he's ever tried to do against Colin Bowden, at least in iRacing. It's going to be really tough here between these 2 guys. If we stay green here, 13 laps to go, so few cars on the racetrack, I hope we get a nice green finish to this one.
And I'll ask you this, because I don't know many drivers that know the answer to this themselves, but how do you defend against a bump and run?
That's so tough to do. I don't think you really can. You kind of just need to. Yeah, it's a great point. You can plant yourself kind of on the bottom of the racetrack, and with the EOL rules, I'm curious to see, because you can force the driver behind and make it look really bad and intentional, make it look like he went out of his way to take you out. Whereas most of the time with a bump and run, it's just like, all right, I was going to take this line. I would have had to check up if you were normally there, but I didn't check up. I'm just taking you out. With this, you can really hug that bottom and I think take away any opportunity. And that, I think, forces race control to look at it as this could have been more, look at it more as malicious intent, I think. That's the only way, but you're not really defending against it. So Colin Bowden, the good news for Landon Huffman right now is he's pulling a gap to that 88 car, which makes it a lot harder for Bowden to pull that move.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say, and can you believe I'd be talking about this with 9 laps to go, but perhaps lap traffic going to play a factor in this? You saw the three cars that were involved in that earlier issue that did not trigger the yellow flag just in front of these guys. Don't know if they're damaged enough to be a factor. I don't know if we'll catch up to those guys in time, but you're right. There has been a little bit of a gap, about 0.3 of a second between first and second place, and that might be the best defense to the bump and run, is not being close enough to be in harm's way. That right now is the 75 car, Logan Huffman. He has that advantage over the 88.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can hang on here, though, because Colin Bowden closing back in just ever so slightly here through the corners. And you can see that 88 getting closer to the corners. This is a really interesting ebb and flow to this race, but it's allowing Presley Sora, the way these two guys are driving, at least right now, Presley Sora quickly catching up to this group, and this could be a three-way fight for the lead here pretty soon. Again, just kind of adding to the spice to it. We've had a lot of cautions here so far tonight, but what an incredible ending this would be if we've got these three guys going at it here. 5 laps to go as they'll come around the stripe this time by.
Yeah, they've driven away from our defending series champion there, Tate Lytle on the 56 car, who he doesn't get an extra pep in the step, won't be able to talk to us here tonight, and we know he always has a story to tell. Might miss out, though, as we see the 75 and the 88 car still maintaining that gap. It's been about 0.3 of a second and less than 1.5 minutes of action here at Martinsville. Time is running out with a Martinsville clock available to one of these guys at the end of this one.
Definitely there, yeah. 4 laps to go. You're starting to think about when you're making that move. The problem is, I think, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're making it too early. Just like a super speedway, really. I mean, you don't want to make that move too early if you are going for that bump, because it will unsettle your car as well. So you've got to think about that and covering off the guy behind you. It becomes a lot trickier when you've got Presley Sora breathing down your neck if you're Colin Bowden. So right now, obviously, the guy you want to be, I think, is going to be Landon Huffman, either him or Presley Sora. Colin Bowden has to do the perfect bump and run and not lose too much time to Sora behind.
Don't know if he's going to be able to make up that time at all, as Landon Hoffman has been able to maintain that gap. Now it's grown to about almost 0.4 of a second there. And that 88 car has got to be frustrating there. You can see the guy right in front of you. A chance and a shot at the glory right there. Will it be enough to face the white flag this time by? 1 lap to go here at Martinsville. It has been a crazy, crazy clash here tonight. They've had to survive everything. Multiple cautions, multiple wrecks, but that 75 car, as
there he goes.
Takes a look, the 88 car, he'll miss the corner. He's going to miss a shot at the win because the 75 car, Landon Huffman, gets the creative clash for the Elite Racing Network in the first checkered flag of 2022.
How about that? What a drive there by Landon Huffman, and that late dive to the outside. I'm curious what that call was there from from Colin Bowden there. Going to lose second and third position even at the line. That's going to give the win over to Landon Huffman. But man, oh man, what a drive there by the 75 car. An effort there by Colin Bowden to try and take it away, maybe go up high, try and carry a lot of speed off of the corner. Just didn't quite work out there.
Wow, look at these cars are so planted in the racetrack. I don't know if he can do a burnout here.
Let's see. He'll give it another shot here.
Spin these cars out there. He's going to try and do a burnout on the front stretch. Don't know if he'll loop it around, but just an amazing drive here by a newcomer in this series. So definitely excited to talk to him here tonight as he burns it down on the front stretch. Yeah, why not? That $20 there, he's earned it tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely has. Incredible drive there by Landon Huffman. Great job just on the racetrack, controlling the race all the way. And here we go. He's going to go for the full reverse victory lap here. He's going to try and keep that burnout going for as long as possible. Spins it around though at the end, and I think he's gonna call it there as a good celebration.
Yeah, that was a good effort. I wonder for the 88 car, did the throttle just hang? He's trying to do a video game. This is some esport racing. We've seen and heard guys in real life say that they've tried to make a move. I wonder if that was in the eyes of the 88 car, if it seemed like a good idea at the time. But unfortunately, he lost out on a shot to talk to us because of that move. So we won't be able to talk to him. Maybe we'll bring him in there just to ask him, just to be like, what was that? We'd like to know. I'd like to know.
Yeah, but I guess before we bring him in, we'll bring in our third place finisher here, Tate Lytle, man. Good off season for you. Got a chance to sit on those 2 trophies and then to get back into this and start from pole here in the Clash, fight with the likes of Sora and Huffman and Bowden there for the win there. P3 at the end. Got to be happy and pretty happy to have this season back underway.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a fight it was. I felt like I was just fighting for best of the rest, but it was still a good time. I don't know. Bowden must not have wanted to talk to you guys very bad because he just shipped it into turn 3 and let me pass him off of 4. But yeah, that was an interesting race. It was fun. I knew that those guys were going to be tough to beat, but it was a good time being able to race with them. But yeah, right front was killed there that last run, so we didn't have a whole lot for him.
That was going to be my next question there. How much did tire wear play a factor toward the end of that? Because you guys starting on the same tires, finishing on the same tires you started on, you had to have been hard on those during that last stage, especially going hard at it for the win.
Yeah, I mean, we were hard on him for sure. I don't think it was anything too crazy compared to those guys, but I mean, Huffman, he's one of the best on iRacing and probably the best in these cars. I don't know a whole lot about Presley, but I know that he's a really solid driver as well. And then obviously Bowden's in the Coke series, so just to kind of be in the same snapshot as those guys coming down to the stretch is, says a lot about what we're doing. But yeah, P3 Clash. I mean, it doesn't good for nothing, but some fun and get the season started next week. I think we got the duels. I'm not sure what exactly the schedule looks like for us, but
I was going to ask you actually about that and kind of how you've been prepping, getting ready for Daytona, because we know you have a bit of a, I was going to say a love-hate relationship, but I think it's still pretty much a hate-hate relationship with Daytona. So wondering how you're getting ready for duels night and then of course the 500 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, plate racing's not my. I don't like a lot of people just aren't good at it, but I'm not good at it and I don't enjoy it. So, I mean, I think we got a 6th place finish in the 500 last year, so we can go try and better that a little bit. I mean, it's still fun to go out and run with those guys, but nothing about flat out full throttle anywhere really suits my liking too much. But it'll be a good time, and I haven't done any laps with the updated next gen car, but supposedly it drives. I shouldn't say it drives better, but it's a lot harder to drive. So I'm looking forward to what that has to offer, and yeah, we'll catch y'all in a week. Got to shout out Brent Wentz, Days Gone By, Vintage Racing Apparel. Go check him out. And then new on the car this week. I ran it a couple times a couple years ago, but my mom's gig, she's a food blogger. She posts a lot of baking stuff and easy dinners. Practicallyhomemade.com. Go check that out. If I assume most of the people listening right now are big race fans that have significant others or something. Go check out Practically Homemade. Get one of those dinners going. Impress your wife. Might bode well for you in the hours later. So go check that out. Get you some racing swag off Days Gone By and have yourself a good rest of the week.
All right, man. All right. We'll talk to you probably sometime next week during qualifying, but enjoy the rest of the week off, and looking forward to getting this season rolling with you.
Yeah, drag me up here anytime. We'll catch y'all next week.
All right, Tate Lytle there, your third place finisher. No word from Presley Soar right now, but we're gonna bring in then our race winner here tonight. We're gonna bring him in here just now, Landon Huffman. Landon, do you have a copy?
I got you.
Hey man, congratulations! Great drive tonight by you. Kind of found control of that race, especially through those cautions. Once we started to get a couple of longer green flag runs, I say longer, maybe about 7 or 8 lap long runs in the middle there. But yeah, kind of found a way to separate yourself from the rest of the pack. Had a great battle there with Presley, but then took over the lead and never really relinquished it from there on. Great win overall. Just talk us through your night, what these cars were like to drive around Martinsville.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. It was fun. We obviously didn't have a lot of green flag racing at the beginning, but I started 15th or somewhere around in there and worked our way to the front. Presley was a lot of fun to race with. He got in the wall a little bit right before I was about to get around him, and I think it hurt the nose just a tad, but it was a fun race. I thought Colin was going to have something for me there. He gave me one shot in the last 15 laps, but it just wasn't enough. He had some front end damage too, so it was still a fun race. The elimination deal kind of throws a different wrench into it, so it makes it a lot of fun. I was happy that I could come hang out and do this thing, and just thankful that Chad allowed me to do it. Although I came and I was really excited about my $20, but I just got told that I don't get $20 for winning. So I guess don't know who that goes to, but
Why not?
apparently I'm not a paid entry, but I didn't know that was a thing. They just asked me if I wanted to race for $20. So I said, yeah, I'll race for $20 for the Clash. And then I just got told that my $20 is going to somebody else because I wasn't a paid entry into the season. So I didn't even know that.
Well,
Maybe
this
he's
is
gonna give me
recorded and
free
live
entry
on
into the
YouTube,
season or
so
something
you
because
could
I just
have
spent
the
an hour and a
support.
half running the race and then got told I didn't get no money.
I was going to say
Sorry,
this is live on YouTube, so you could get the support here from the drivers here to see.
That's true. We'll do some investigative reporting, some investigative journalism here tonight at 10. Why one driver did not get the $20 he feels he rightfully deserved.
Yeah, I told Chad I was going to protest the interview and just leave, but obviously a joke. But still, I don't know. Maybe you should have told me that beforehand. I don't know. I mean, he asked me a month ago to race, and I told him I would do it. It was a lot of fun, either way. But I did spend an hour and a half doing it, so dang
Well,
it.
You know, the one thing you can go back and look back upon is what race this was over that hour and a half there. I mean, there was a lot of things thrown out there. I don't know. I was going to ask you what your plans are for 2022, or are we going to see you more in the season, or is this more of a one-off deal for you?
I mean, I've been looking to run other leagues. I made a tweet the other day about how I was getting frustrated with official racing on iRacing, and I had a lot of people recommend leagues, so it's definitely something I'm interested in. If it's the next gen car, I'm not touching that thing, but if it's a short track league or Xfinity or something, I don't know. I would definitely consider running it, but honestly, he told me this was a super late model race, so I love anything that has to do with super late model at a short track, so I was all about it. But yeah, that's a good point. Maybe if he gives me my $20, I'll run their league.
There you go. That's some incentive there, Chad. If you're listening, I was gonna say we'd love to have you. It's a great addition, and you've done a lot for sim racing as a whole, and obviously you're most well known for a lot of the short track leagues that you're involved in. But would love to have you, in the Cup cars that we run here, or even the Xfinity series that we run here. It's great racing, I think, that we put on most of the time. I think this hopefully was a bit of an anomaly. But yeah, getting you out on some of those bigger racetracks, getting involved with some of the other names that we've gotten into the elite racing leagues in the past couple of years. It's great to continue adding to that.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate Chad having me. He does a good job. I know elite stuff's always ran well, and you guys do an excellent job broadcasting it, and everything's always well organized. So I do appreciate that. And you can't really hold the racing that was with this deal, to a standard of the league, because that's what you're going to have whenever you do these little one-off deals like this, and everyone's trying to fight for an elimination spot and all that good stuff. So overall, I think the last little bit there was more indicative of the driver talent out there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we did just get confirmation that Chad will be sending you the $20. We did end up pressuring him enough to do so. So there you go. There's your incentive to stick around here for some other races.
That's an award-winning Emmy we can put in there. We've done our part as investigative journalists.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Congratulations again. Great drive here, at Martinsville, and hopefully this isn't the last we're seeing of you this season.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Well,
Landon Huffman there,
been
race winner and winner of $20 officially now.
Glad to see that going. I definitely believe he rightfully deserved that. That was a great win. They're all racing for the same thing, so nice to see Chad do the right thing there and give the man his dues there. But ending on a lighter note here, it turns much more serious though in a week because we have Daytona coming up in that windshield, and I am so excited for the duels that'll be right here on the Elite Racing Network, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8:30. I should actually have that down before I say that. I don't know.
Don't worry. I was actually going to ask you. I will say this. Keep an eye out on the YouTube page and the Twitter page. There could be some efforts right now. I'm not making any promises, but we could have some efforts to be showing all the single car qualifying as well. Not necessarily as much commentary, but we're also going to try and get some guys interviewed, talking to the drivers heading into the season. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to try and put that program together for you guys, but at the very least, we will have both of those duels ready to go for you next Wednesday night.
So definitely something you're going to want to keep an eye on. And so glad you were able to keep an eye on us here tonight as we officially welcome the 2022 season underway. If it's anything like 2021, then we are sure to be in for a special treat. Want to give a thanks to all of our partners once again and being able to bring this to you here live on YouTube. And Rashav, I just can't wait. I mean, Daytona is just 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We're getting this season kicked off again. It doesn't feel like it was that long of an off season, but I'm ready for some more racing action as always. And for me, the biggest thing I can't wait for is to see really what this package is going to be like, because this, unlike last season, this is going to be as close as I think we're going to get to the real package we're going to get at the Daytona 500 that's coming up in February. So this is as good of an indicator as I think we're going to get.
So much to look forward to, so much already in the books, and you're not going to miss anything. So from all of us here for the Elite Racing Network, we are so glad you could join us here for tonight. Be sure to catch us next week beginning at 8, we believe, even earlier for some of that single car qualifying. And we can't wait to have you on board for the 2022 season. But so long here from the Elite Racing Network. We'll see you guys next week.